Welcome to What a Creep, the show with Margot Donohue and Sonia Mansfield, talking about creeps from the past to the present.
This is your quick guide to the biggest creeps, jerks, assholes, and losers, the best of the worst.
From two nice ladies who want the world to be a little less creepy.
Welcome back to What a Creep. This is Margot Donohue, and my cohort in creepitude, as always, is the amazing Sonia Mansfield. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. We are the podcast that talks about creeps from the past to the present. And just so you all know, we always end the show with someone who is not a creep. And I think you're going to like our non-creep today. Sonia, what is our creepiness today?
We are going to be talking about Fox News's favorite celebrities is what I'm titling this. It is Kristy Swanson, Dean Cain, and Kevin Sorbo. A trifecta of creeps.
Love it.
A trio of creeps.
You could follow us on social media in many places. On Facebook, we have a basic Facebook page. Nobody goes there. Don't. We never check it. It's the only place people will go to leave comments about how much they hate our language. Just to warn you right now, if you have kids in the car or whatever, we use salty language in this program.
Yeah, I use it all the time. I drop fucks fucking every fucking second.
We have a private Facebook group. You do have to answer a couple of questions before we let you in there. And it's just a place where we hang out and talk about creepy stuff or just funny things. It's a nice, safe space.
Yes.
Just promise not to be a creep.
Yeah, it's the best group on Facebook for sure. It's the only reason I go to Facebook.
It seriously is the only reason she goes to Facebook. We're on Twitter at CreepPod because somebody had What a Creep on Twitter for 10 years and never used it.
Great.
We're on Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram, What a Creep Podcast. You can follow us all those places. And we have an old-timey email, whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. All those are places where you can send us your ideas for creeps and or non-creeps. Sometimes we have the tough time is actually figuring out who the hell is going to be our non-creep. So those are all places you can reach us. And also, if you would like some stickers, I do plan to go past the mailbox this weekend. I promise. I've been saying that. It's happening. So if you would like some stickers wherever you are on the planet of Earth, send us your address and we will get them out to you. Sonia, will you tell them about the website?
Yes, you can go to whatacreeppodcast.com and it's everything you ever wanted to know about the podcast, but we're afraid to ask. You shouldn't be afraid to ask, but still, you could go there. Do your own research. No, just kidding. Don't do your own research. There are links to all of our past episodes. That's where I was going. And in each of those posts are show notes. We source every single thing we do. We're not making this stuff up. We want to give credit to the people that do the work. So if you're looking for a deeper dive, if you do want to do your own research on our creeps, that's a great place to start. So do that. There's a link to our Substack where I put out our monthly newsletter, and I just realized I didn't do April, so I'll be doing that this weekend. Yay! And there's a link to our merch shop where you can get t-shirts and tote bags and face masks and journals and all kinds of posters. You can get a big, huge What a Creep poster if you want. Whatever you want, you could get it there with our logo on it. And there's a link to our Patreon. You want to tell them about that, Margot?
Yes, Patreon. Look up What a Creep Podcast. We use the Patreon, just to cover the costs for putting the show together. Maybe get
all those sources.
All those sources. We pay for Rolling Stone is $100 a year just for that.
Yeah, we pay for almost all of these news sources because we want to pay people for their work.
Absolutely. So if you want to join us on Patreon, what we offer is our first 8 seasons are on that wall just for the Patreon people. And then we put out 2 bonus episodes a month. And I want to say hi to Jessica Marquis. And Victor, obviously, he always leaves comments. Jessica mentioned that we talked about Alec Baldwin being a man baby. And she sent us an article and he is even so much worse. We might have to do like an Alec Baldwin Rust thing next time. I think we're probably going to do that because it's
maybe we could do a little update to our Alec Baldwin episode.
Maybe that'll be the smart thing to do because thank you, Jessica, for sending us that. But so that's What a Creep Podcast in Patreon. But if money's tight, we get it.
Yeah.
Or if you already subscribed, but you're like, hey, I want to do more. What more can I do for Margot and Sonia?
So helpful.
please, leave a review wherever you get your podcasts, be it Good Pods or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We totally appreciate every one of you that takes the time. We know it's not easy to do. We really appreciate y'all doing that. Or, ask for a sticker, put it on your laptop, go to the coffee shop, look cool. Or seriously, just tell a friend about the show. That would be amazing.
Yes. It helps us find our people. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Okay, so we went through all the housekeeping.
Yeah. Housekeeping.
Sonia?
Yeah.
Tell us about our topic today.
Okay. For some reason, Fox News loves to bring on celebrities to comment on political news. But the only, and I'm going to put this in quotes, celebrities they can get are Ted Nugent, Kid Rock, and these three, Dean Cain, Kristy Swanson, and Kevin Sorbo. Recently, The Rock went on Fox and Friends. This is where I got the idea for this episode. And he bravely talked about how he's not going to talk about who he votes for. So congrats to Fox News, who might be adding The Rock to their galaxy of stars. But today I'm going to talk about Dean Cain, Kristy Swanson, and Kevin Sorbo. And before you hit that submit 1-star review, I want to make it clear I'm not picking on them just because they're conservative. You can have conservative opinions. But if you're anti-science, racist, homophobic, transphobic, we're not talking about a difference of opinion here.
My non-creep is, by the way, conservative. And it's going to blow your fucking minds, y'all.
What? Yes. Again, those things are not a difference of opinion. You're just wrong. So if you're like, no, I think being racist is just a difference of opinion, our show is not for you.
Right. Save yourself an aneurysm. Just
go listen to Joe Rogan where you can ask questions. It's fine. Enjoy.
We wish you well, in the words of Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes. Most of the sources for this episode come from their very own Twitter feed, y'all. They are saying these awful things with their full chest out loud for everyone to hear. So there you go. Sources for the episode: Complex, The Daily Beast, Huffington Post, Salon, the Southern Poverty Law Center, Yahoo News, Dean Cain's Twitter, Kevin Sorbo's Twitter, Kristy Swanson's Twitter, and all of their Wikipedia pages. So let's start with the world's least favorite Superman. Dean George, I'm going to be, Tonka was born July 31st, 1966 in Michigan. His father is Roger Tanakaka. Sorry, his name is Tanakaka. The was got in there. My doc is acting all weird. Anyway, his father was a U.S. serviceman. His mother is Sharon Thomas, and eventually they split. So he was adopted by Christopher Cain, and that's hence Dean Cain. They moved to Los Angeles. He then moved to Malibu.
Nice.
He went to Santa Monica High School, and he was really, really into sports. He was really good at football. Some of his classmates, by the way, Charlie Sheen, Rob Lowe, his brother Chad, all those
would have loved to have gone to that school.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. There's a whole crew of them. I think maybe Sean Penn was involved in this at some point. Yeah, there's a whole group of these men who went to the Santa Monica High School around the same time. So he excelled at football. He graduated in 1984. He went to Princeton, and he was a star player on their football team. He set all kinds of records. Let's see. And then while he was at Princeton, he dated Brooke Shields.
Yeah.
I love Brooke Shields. I love her.
Same.
She has a new Netflix movie coming out with Benjamin Bratt. I'm going to watch the shit out of that. The second it fucking shows up, I'll be like, play. I love her Netflix movies. I think they're so fun. Anyway, after he graduated, he played with the Buffalo Bills for a little while, but then he got a knee injury, and that was the end of his football career. He got into acting. He did Beverly Hills 90210. I remember when he was on there.
Who did he play? Do you remember?
He was Brenda's I believe he was the boyfriend that she met when she studied overseas.
Oh, okay.
And that's when Dylan hooked up with Kelly.
Right.
Yeah.
Who True Loves, by the way, I think.
Yes. Oh, such good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got his like big starring role in 93. He was Superman in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman with Terry Hatcher. I didn't watch that show on the regular. I watched it every once in a while and I was like, yeah, sure. It's something to watch. But it was a big hit. It ran for 4 seasons. And then after that, it ended in 97. And he really went on to like, he would pop up in like DC Comics shows, you know, like Smallville and Supergirl. He's also done like a ton of like Christmas movies, and he's made a bunch of them recently with Kristy Swanson. So this is how I put these two together. But let's get into bunch of reasons why he sucks. That's why we're here. He's he's a big Trumper. He's all in on making America great again. He says that he's progressive in like social stuff, like, but when you vote for Trump, you don't get to call yourself progressive in social issues because Trump trumps those things. So he has also been a regular on things like Steven Crowder's show.
Ugh. We did an episode about him.
Yes. Dean Cain was very supportive of the Gamergate movement, which is actually kind of led to where we are today. Like Gamergate, if you don't know, was this thing where all these incels were like basically hounding female journalists in the video game industry because they were
lives, doxing them.
Saying it was about journalism ethics, but it was really about these women won't fuck us is really what it was. It was really fucked up, and they were doxing these women. And he's on like Steven Crowder's shitty podcast going, yeah, that's fine. We should be doing that. And it's super important that we be ethical in our video game journalism, which is code for other shit. He's also on the board of directors of the National Rifle Association.
We did an episode about them. You did an episode on that. Yep.
Yes. We have a lot of mass shootings here in this country. It was hard for me to even narrow it down when he was like tweeting out that it turned out there were 8 people that were killed in a mall in Texas. Some asshole got his hands on an automatic rifle, and Dean Cain is out there tweeting like, what did he say exactly? I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Like basically it's like having our gun rights is more important than these people's lives is what he's trying to say. He gets upset about things that aren't really issues. So in 2021, he went on Fox News because he's always on Fox News. Again, he's one of their go-to celebrities.
He's also handsome, let's just say.
He is.
He's he's a very handsome guy. So he's easy to look at. So, I mean, it's not like Nuge, who's like just gross.
No, when Ted Nugent's on there, you're like, ew. Who let this ugly, gross man on TV?
He doesn't floss his teeth. Let's just be clear.
No, what teeth? He goes on Fox News and he's like, Superman wouldn't even be allowed to say truth, justice, and the American way anymore. It's like, that's not a thing. Nobody's complaining about that. It's just a bullshit thing that he says to like rile up Fox News fans. Apparently this was in response to, there was a new Captain America comic that came out, and Captain America was like, this is what he said. He said, we're at our best when we keep no one out. A good dream is shared radically, shared with everyone. Yeah. And Dean Cain is like, no, the Superman can't even say truth, justice, and the American way, blah, blah. And look, they're making Captain America woke and blah, all this bullshit.
Diversity sucks.
Yeah. And I'm like, the cover photo on my Facebook page that I never go to is literally from an old Captain America comic where he's punching Hitler in the face. Like, Captain America is not pro-fascist. He's quite the opposite. He's not woke. He's actually patriotic in the way we should all be patriotic, not in the like America exceptionalism way. You know, he's not a garbage person. How dare you, sir? I will not have you talk about Captain America. First of all, and you're also Captain America is a Marvel character, and you played a DC character. So just sit down, Dean Cain.
I said good day, sir.
I said good day. So go to his Twitter. You could go to his Twitter feed. I don't recommend it. He like on the reg is like retweeting accounts like End Wokeness, which is, if that's your top concern, you don't know what real problems are. He loves to retweet people like Scott Adams, who we've done an episode on, James Woods, who we've done an episode on. I blocked James Woods a long time ago, so I don't see James Woods stuff, but he retweets him all the time. And of course, Donald Trump Jr., who we should totally do an episode on because he could be his own episode. But also,
so gross,
I'm just waiting.
though.
I'm waiting for that dude to go to rehab.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
yeah. Other things he loves to complain about: student loan forgiveness. Like that has anything to do with Dean Cain. It has nothing to do with you. Mind your business. He blamed COVID lockdowns on Biden. Biden wasn't president at the time. And 7 million people died from COVID all over the world. So could we stop pretending that COVID was just a fucking cold?
Yes, please.
More on that in a bit. And then, of course, the left-wing conspiracy to lock up Trump, who totally hasn't done anything wrong, according to Dean Cain. These are provably false, and this is why he's a creep. Now we're going to talk about Kristy Swanson.
Buffy the
And by the way,
Vampire
these are-
Slayer.
Yes, the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And this is why I did 3 of them together. This is like high level shit. I'm not looking to do a deep dive on these assholes because they're honestly not that interesting, but they are creeps. So Kristen Noel Swanson was born December 19th, 1969 in South Laguna, California. She got into acting at 9. She was really interested in it, so they helped her pursue that. She did a lot of television commercials. She did like Dollhouse commercials and stuff like that. But when she got to be a teenager is when you start seeing her and stuff. She was the girl who Ducky has his eye on at the end of Pretty in Pink.
Yes.
Yes.
A toxic movie.
Yes, she's in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She explains like, well, I heard from this person who heard from this person about the Ferris Bueller's dying. All the it's very funny. She's very funny in these movies, by the way. It brings me no joy to talk shit about Kristy
I like a lot of her
Swanson.
stuff, and she's got the riz, as the kids say.
She does.
She does.
She
She shines. Yeah.
She did Wes Craven's Deadly Friend. She did the Flowers in the Attic movie,
Which was awesome.
yeah. And then, of course, she's the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a movie I love.
Yeah.
But I realize, like, it doesn't hold a candle to the show. Like, it doesn't. But I still love it. And then she does things like Hot Shots and Dude, Where's My Car and Big Daddy. And, like, she's a funny person. In 2006, she did Skating with the Stars, which, if I don't know, people remember that show. It was kind of Fox's answer to Dancing with the Stars, but it was ice skating. And she was paired with an Olympic skater named Lloyd Eisler. Eisler was married at the time with 2 kids, including a 1-year-old. And they started having an affair. And then he left his wife and 2 kids to be with her.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm like, I have feelings about that. And by February 2007, like, they were fully together. They have children together. They got married. And she mainly does TV movies with Dean Cain now. And then
Are they still married?
They are still married.
Okay, well.
And yeah. And then she mainly does these TV movies with Dean Cain. And then she's basically a professional internet troll at this point. So here's a list of reasons why she sucks. First of all, because she's a pick-me girl and a real dope. During the Me Too movement, she was
pro Weinstein.
She's tweeting like, "Screw you, bitches," during the like women's march. She will any time like women talk about equal rights, she's like, "How dare you? We have equal rights." It's all pick me bullshit. She was always defending Brett Kavanaugh. How you could defend Brett Kavanaugh, I don't understand. But she
That's what pick-me's do.
constantly supporting him, retweeting like fucking hashtags, calling into question Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, calling out her credibility, like maintaining that Kavanaugh was innocent, referring to her as a doctor with quotes. That woman is a fucking hero, and I will not stand this fucking slander for her. Like, and she tweeted this thing where she's like, guess what? I predict that this doctor, she puts doctor in quotes, won't even show up for the hearing. She'll be a no-show, and then she will flee the country or plead insanity of some sort. The whole thing plays out like a badly written, predictable script. That's what she tweeted. Well, she would understand badly written, predictable scripts because that's what she makes now. And that is not what happened. Like, she testified, the grace this woman showed.
Yeah.
We should all be so fucking graceful. She just did an interview on the We Can Do Hard Things podcast. I'm so impressed with her. So impressed.
She got
not
death threats.
impressed.
I mean,
yes, she still does.
Yeah.
Fuck Kristy Swanson. She keeps tweeting stuff about like what rights are we taking away from women? Like what rights is Trump going to take away from women? What rights is Brett Kavanaugh going to take away from women? Well, guess what? They fucking did. They did take away rights from women. And then when people come at her, she will then tweet like, well, I was molested as a child. I survived rape. You know, I've been accused falsely of assault, you know, so how dare you come at me? So it's like hiding behind, she will say these things about other women and then throw up the same thing about herself. It's really shitty. It's like a horrible way to argue, and it makes it so that people like you can't engage with her on a real level. Like it's like, well, I suffered level. Yes, exactly. In 2018 she posted on her Instagram like a picture of herself, and she's wearing a shirt that says like, make America not a bunch of whiny bitches again. What if I was like, that shirt is too long. That's
exactly.
Too long. You know?
It should be no whiny bitches with a circle and a thing through it. There you
exactly.
go. Yeah.
It is poor design.
That's just logo work, dude. Like,
yeah, you get what you pay for, bitch. She links it out. There's apparently like a far right apparel company called American Trigger Pullers, and apparently this is supposed to be a clever, you know, shirt, but it isn't. You know, she's big Stop the Steal girly, and she once tweeted like, they claim 81 people voted for Biden, but there isn't one yard sign, flag, or bumper sticker, t-shirt, or hat anywhere to be found across the country. Yeah, bitch, because we're not in a cult.
Right.
We don't have to wear a fucking uniform for Biden.
And some people, this may shock you, like, they just go to the booth and they vote. They don't want to have a conversation about it. They don't want to debate people wherever they go.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
We're not in a cult. We don't have to wear the uniform.
Right. We don't. Yeah. We read. We go into the booth. We vote. We maybe take the sticker and put it on our little thing that always falls off like 10 feet away from the YMCA where I go. But anyway, we just vote.
Yes.
I don't have a lawn. Well, I have a lawn, but no, I don't need a lawn sign. I don't need bumper stickers. I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
I have a bumper sticker. It says, tell your dog I said hi. And I bought it from WeRateDogs.com. And all the money goes to help dogs. So enjoy.
I'll talk about dogs and cats.
Yeah, I love to talk about dogs.
But yeah.
Again, you could go to her Twitter. I pulled almost all of this off of her Twitter. I don't recommend it, where she retweets Dean Cain and James Woods because he's so popular with internet trolls. Professional trolls like Cat Turd, which is a real thing that exists. Mm-hmm. Fucking Elon Musk loves Cat Turd. Go ahead and take that out of context. Put that shit on a shirt. Elon Musk loves Cat Turd. You know, she loves to retweet people with Patriot in their bio. You know, she defends the January 6th insurrectionists, you know, your usual troll bullshit. She's a big COVID conspiracy, anti-vax person. she even was hospitalized with COVID. Like,
Yeah, that's right.
It was serious enough that she could have died. She's lucky that she has money, that she's able to get good medical care. And she's still like out there tweeting shit about how COVID is like, it's just a bad cold and blah, blah, blah. It's fuck you. You know, vocal supporter of Trump, obviously, you know, promoting a lot of the theories about Dr. Anthony Fauci, which was our, like, what's the Surgeon General? Like, he was like our head
doctor
of the
in charge.
Yeah. 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 And she like retweeted all this shit, like claiming that he literally put out that he was murdering puppies. What the fuck? No, he's not. Nobody's murdering puppies in the name of their anti-COVID conspiracy theories. What the fuck are you talking about? I warned y'all I was going to drop a lot of fucks.
It's Ragey Sonia today.
Like, Ragey Sonia, because it's so willfully ignorant.
Right.
It's just so ignorant on purpose. Like, I'm like, do they not deep down know they're wrong? Are they so lost that it's just like, it's so not a thing. All right, enough about this bitch. Let's go on to Kevin Sorbo. He sucks too. Kevin Sorbo, born in Minnesota, September 24th, 1958.
Boomer?
Oh, he started huh?
He's a boomer.
Yeah, that makes him a boomer, huh? He went to Minnesota State University, Moorhead. I'm sorry to Minnesota that he's from your state. That sucks. He majored in marketing and advertising, and to pay for tuition, he began working as a model. So apparently some people think Kevin Sorbo is handsome. I am not one of those people, but that's fine.
Oh, I think he's handsome.
Yeah, see,
I'll give
there
him
you
that.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the 80s, he did a ton of commercial work, and he made his acting debut in the soap opera Santa Barbara, which
That's
we
cool.
just talked about in our She-Devil episode on Dorking Out. And then he did a lot of television series. So it was like Murder, She Wrote, The Commish. Supposedly he was up for the Superman role in Lois and Clark, but he lost it to Dean Cain.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got like a big role. He was like, he got to play Hercules. Hercules. And there was like these 5 TV movies, and they were all like really successful. So then he got like a syndicated television series. By the way, this is back when we still had like 5 channels. And one of them was like a syndicated channel where you could watch reruns of other shows. And they had like Star Trek, The Next Generation, and they had Hercules. And it ran for 6 seasons. And the show was huge. And he was a huge star. And the spinoff, of course, was Xena, Warrior Princess, which even like surpassed it and was like a huge success. So after that ended, he started doing like science fiction, shows on the Sci-Fi Channel, like Andromeda. He had a reoccurring role on the OC, which I was totally into.
Really? Who did he play?
He was a reoccurring role. I forget who he played, to be honest. In that, it was in the final season, so by then I was like in and out. But I used to love the OC. Welcome to the OC, bitch. I was into it. And then he made this transition into like Christian films. So again, we're not shitting on him because he makes Christian films, but he did one called God's Not Dead, that it's about like an atheist professor who requires his students to like not be religious anymore on their first day of class. I don't know what that movie is, but I think Greg Kinnear was in it too. I don't know. I'm not going to watch that stuff.
God's Not Dead?
Oh, yeah, that's what it was called.
Okay.
And then it's around this time where he starts going on all these conservative shows, and he's like defending Mel Gibson, and he's
Sugar tits.
Yeah,
Sorry, I can't help it. I have a
Sugar
t-shirt
Tits
that says Sugar Tits. Sonia knows about it.
Yes, he starts writing and directing like his own like Christian dramas, and they're like Sean Hannity is appearing in them, and like Sean
Great
Hannity's producing. Yes, such a good actor. Everyone knows that about Sean Hannity. What he's got the opposite of the Riz. Like whatever the opposite of is Sean Hannity. Like talk about someone that makes me drier than the desert. Like gross. Gives me a dry ass pussy is Sean Hannity. The New Yorker gave it a review and said that of this Christian drama he made called Let There Be Light. And they called it cynical, xenophobic morality tale, as bitter as it is saccharine. And basically, it's like out like they did not like. Los Angeles Times also like gave it a thumbs down. But honestly, at this point, he's really mostly known for going on Fox News, where he is routinely referring to people who come into this country as "quote unquote" illegals.
Oh God, that term is
when people
horrible.
use the term illegals, these are the same people who will refer to women as females. These are red flag words.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen to what they're saying, because they're telling on themselves instantly.
They're
with these kinds of
dehumanizing
words.
people.
Yes, exactly. He is always on there promoting Trump's lies about election fraud. He defends Kyle Rittenhouse, who is definitely on our list. Fuck Kyle Rittenhouse. Fuck that guy. You know, shares a lot of anti-abortion propaganda on his Twitter. Complains that Hollywood is trying to get rid of masculine men. Dude, that's not why people don't want to work with you.
Yeah, you're missing the point.
Yeah. And then most recently, we talked about this in our bonus episode. They're putting together a new production of Romeo and Juliet, and they've hired a black actress to play Juliet. And for some reason, people are really upset about this and being like, Juliet's white. She's not a real character.
Right.
Anybody could play her.
People adapt Shakespeare all the time. They put Shakespeare in outer space. They put Shakespeare in the 1800s in the West. Like it's a thing you do with Shakespeare. You adapt it.
Yes.
That's the material.
It's just stupid shit. Again, you could go to his Twitter account. Don't recommend it. I took a little screenshot here. When you go to Kevin Sorbo's Twitter account, it basically is like who to follow. You know, it's kind of their version of you might like, and it's Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and Ron DeSantis.
Oh, there you
when
go.
You go
Those
to,
geniuses.
So it sums it up right there.
Lauren Boebert, who gives her boyfriend a handy at the Beetlejuice show. And vaping. And bitching.
Trust us, the Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene episode is going to happen. We're just letting that one play out a little bit. Because, again, we would have to update it every 5 seconds. I actually did the Matt,
sometimes with our creeps. Yeah.
I did the Matt Gaetz episode way too early. I did the Elon Musk episode way too early. But there we go. It is what it is. After one of our many mass shootings in this country, he tweeted that assault weapons aren't real, just like there's no such thing as an assault car or an assault pencil. Stop blaming objects when the person is the fault.
It's the person with the object that's doing it. They're not, I know that.
Again,
but still, if they didn't have it in their fucking hands.
Won't nobody think of the guns?
What does he have against the black woman playing Juliet? Does he say does he just say, "Oh, this is woke bullshit," like Jordan Peterson?
Yes. No, and it should be white. The Juliet should be white. She's white. Again, Juliet's not a real person.
No, and there are black people all over the world.
Yes.
All over the world.
Yeah. Also, again,
even Italy.
Mermaids aren't real,
right?
And and people get out. Oh, there's a black little mermaid. It's a fucking mermaid. Like, who are these? Who are these people?
Who are these people?
Just recently out there again promoting his COVID conspiracy theories, referring to it as a cold, quote unquote. Again, fuck off. 7 million people did not die of a cold.
My friend lost her father and her aunt within a few weeks of each other. Yeah.
Tweeting out like, remember when we used to treat the flu with tea, soup, and saltines instead of communism?
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, during the pandemic, by the way, he was so shitty, Facebook kicked him off. Do you know how shitty you have to be for Facebook to be like, that's enough of that? Like, you have to be awful for Facebook to be like, that's enough now. You've done enough here.
That'll do, pig.
He's still out there like on Twitter because Twitter will never kick you off. They're trying to get Trump to come back. Like Elon Musk is all
he's
in
even
on
bringing
this
the blue
shit.
checks back. Yeah.
Yeah, he's all about it. He's on his Twitter talking about how Hollywood's run by Jews, defends profiling Muslims, he actually said one time talking about Muslims, like if they have nothing to hide, why do they get upset about stuff? Who are you talking about? Like, what does that mean?
It's that whole thing of like, the cops should be able to just bust into your home without a search warrant. Well, if you've got nothing to hide, why do you matter? And it's like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, but they don't do it to white people.
Right.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly what it is. Why are you so upset that they break down your door and search your home? Why are you so upset that they pull you over every fucking time you leave your house?
Right.
And drive somewhere. Fuck you, Kevin Sorbo. Ugh. More like,
or they won't let you on a
Sorbo.
plane, or they, yeah.
There's a woman on Twitter, I can't remember her name, but she refers to him as Jerkules, and I just love it so much. I was like, seriously, what a fucking Jerkules. Promoting election fraud still. Last year, he published a children's book.
Of course he did.
Because we got to start indoctrinating these children. Talk about indoctrinating children, right? And it's called The Test of Lionhood, and it explores the themes of masculinity from a Christian perspective. That's important. Yeah, it's all about like defending the virtues of being masculine. I didn't read the book, obviously, because gross. And he's saying that like
he didn't click that Amazon.
Immediately bought that shit and was like, what a real page turner. Come here, Calvin. Let's read The Test of Lionhood. Calvin would slam a door in my face if I tried to read The Test of Lionhood. Rightly so. These are the things that he thinks are the biggest problems in the world is like Hollywood's making men less masculine. I'm like,
such bullshit.
Are you fucking
all
kidding
the
me?
Superhero movies? Are you kidding me?
Also, this isn't why Hollywood doesn't want to work with you because you're so masculine. No, because you suck. Nobody wants you on their set. No one wants to talk to you. You can't sit here. They don't like you.
You're also not that talented. It's not like he's got this huge range.
Right.
There's conservative people who work. James Woods I don't know if he works now, but John Voight works. Adam Sandler, like a lot of people who are conservative.
Adam Sandler is also like a Hollywood conservative. And people are like, Hollywood conservatives never work anymore. Adam Sandler puts out movies constantly.
Yeah.
People watch them. He's
Gary
not out there
Sinise
being...
works. I mean, there's a lot of people. Yeah.
Yes, they're just not shitty.
No. They choose to celebrate things versus denigrate things.
Yes, exactly. They're not trying to force anybody to like think the way they think, to enjoy what they're making, what they're creating, what they're putting out there.
They don't act like crybabies about it. If they put it out and people like it or they don't. They're not babies about it. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, Kelsey Grammer's still working. Like he's not, fucking Frasier reboots out there. Like, whatever. They need someone to blame other than themselves, right?
Right.
Like they can't take responsibility for the fact that, I don't know, maybe Hollywood moved on from their style of movie making, or
I don't think also some of these people realize how they come across, which is usually condescending.
Yes.
And Hollywood people like to think they're smart, like the big executives. We know they're probably not, but you're not going to win going in there acting like you're the smartest person in the room when the suits with the money are there.
Yes.
That's just a life skill, Yeah.
Yeah. So he, is always like, he's been tweeting. He did the whole let's ban Bud Light stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, because Bud Light, by the way, if you don't know, had the nerve to do like a little cross promotion with a trans person named Dylan Mulvaney.
One ad. For her and her audience.
Yes. And
And it was
the
like
people
on her Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah, or on her TikTok.
It wasn't on the TV as you're watching your games and holding your dick, which I'm sure that's what you do because you're so masculine.
So ridiculous. So Kid Rock's like shooting up beer cases and whatever. And Kevin Sorbo was one of those people. He got in on it too, and he's like tweeting out like, I've always preferred Busch Light anyway. By the way, Busch Light is also owned by the same company, so that's cool. You do you, dude. But that's when he started to get into like a Twitter war with Xena, Warrior Princess star Lucy Lawless, who like retweeted him with a clapback that was like, you who have everything, why do you have to stomp on trans people to feel taller? Right. She said to Kevin with love, and then she hashtagged it void inside. Like,
Lucy's awesome, by the way.
She's awesome.
And a lot of people requested her to be a non-creep, so she's definitely on the list.
Yeah, she went after him a few times and was like, why? Why are you attacking people that actually need our protections right now? Why are you punching down? She calls it out. And good on her.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Xena better than Hercules.
Yep.
He claims he's been blacklisted because of his religious beliefs. And it's like, nah, bro, it's because you're racist and you're transphobic and you're a fucking fascist. Like, that's why. No one wants to work with you. He said that his agents and managers told him that we can't get you jobs anymore. No one wants to work with you because you're a Christian and being a conservative. He said that's an exact quote from him. He says that they said that to him. And I was like, that definitely didn't happen.
I can actually see that it did, but them just kind of saying like, you are coming across a certain way.
Yes.
And it's off-putting. And maybe just ease up on the racism when you're on social media.
And nah. And his most recent thing is just like I'm very tolerant. Like, why are people not tolerant of
my intolerance of Jewish people and black people and women who want to get abortions?
To be like liberal people, the left people, as they like, are supposed to be tolerant. So why are you not tolerant of my intolerance,
of my bigotry?
And I'm like, because we're not doing that anymore. We call it out when we see it.
Right.
And
because the shit's wrong.
And we send you on your fucking way. Like, you act like this, there's repercussions. And this is why you're not working at the level. All three of them. This is why you're not working at the level you want to work at. Because you're being shitty and ugly on the outside. And nobody wants to see that.
Who wants to work with that?
No. And the truth is they're not powerful enough like a Mel Gibson, who's also shitty.
But he has the same friends and some
and
people still like him and still want to see him.
And he continues to work, but he also he had the money, he had, I guess, the talent, he's got his Oscar, for Braveheart to back that shit up. And he still these three don't have that. And it's they just want to be shitty people and get to work. And you don't get to do both. People shouldn't be forced to, it would be irresponsible to have these people on your set with other people because they're shitty. They're garbage people who would treat the people on the set bad.
Right. If somebody's trans or gay or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not safe. They're not safe around them. Why would they want them on their set? I don't want to be in a restaurant with them.
If I have options, I would go for the person that's talented, that has a good social media presence, and has a reputation for being good to work with.
Yes. Exactly.
That's, I would hire an Adam Sandler. Sure.
Yes.
Because
I would hire a Gary Sinise.
Absolutely. They have good reputations. They're nice on the set. They know people's names.
Yeah.
They don't shit on people. They're just doing a job, and then they go about their lives.
Yes.
That's all you have to do.
So, yeah. These people suck.
Yeah.
So, those are our creeps. Our trio of Fox News favorite celebrities. Dean Cain, Kristy Swanson, and Kevin Sorbo.
Sonia, I mean, good job. But
thank you, friend.
I'm sorry all those tweets you had to sit through.
I can now block their accounts.
Yes, you can. Well, I'm going to go with somebody today. So as we said at the top of the show, if this is your first time, we do always end with someone who's not a creep. And this is someone I was busy this week, so I put in our Facebook group. I'm like, who should I pick? And everyone has some really great suggestions. And then a couple of people mentioned Alan Ritchson, who is in Reacher, which is an Amazon show. And
I haven't watched it yet.
No, I started watching it the first season, and it's an action thriller. And
I like stuff like that.
I do too. And Tom Cruise played him in the movie. Excuse me, the character, but the character is supposed to be like 6'5", and Tom Cruise is not. And a lot of people that are fans of those books were like, "Why did we pick Tom Cruise?" Because Tom Cruise does action movies really well.
And and Tom Cruise, again, someone else who acts really creepy, but like, dude's a fucking movie star. He's a movie star.
He puts butts in the seats.
He does.
During COVID, he could bring people to the movie theater. So that's also another thing to think about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I said, I saw that there was a Hollywood Reporter issue. Nobody gets magazines anymore, but he's the cover story because Reacher is coming back for its second season. He's 6'2" or 3, 240 pounds.
So he's more what the character was envisioned. Okay.
He's also, this is Hollywood, not afraid of a masculine guy. Like, this is what.
No, that's not what Kevin Sorbo told me.
And I knew nothing about him. And then I read, there was they sort of leaked a little bit of the interview beforehand and, pre-publicity, putting some stuff out there. And he talked about the fact, he's 41 now, that when he was in his teens, early 20s, he worked as a male model. He's tall. He had to lose a bunch of weight. And he's like, for him, he's like, I couldn't go under 205, but he was with guys that were like 135 pounds. Like,
damn,
models are real skinny.
Yeah.
And he worked with people like Mario Testino and all these different photographers. And he talked very openly about being sexually assaulted while working in high fashion. Testino pursued him relentlessly. And he said that it was basically, a lot of the modeling world is basically sex trafficking.
Damn.
And we've talked about this. We have talked about photographers like Terry Ritchson, that they use their job to hook up with people, and they hold over their head like, I can get you gigs, but you got to be nice to me. And if you're not
nice means you have to touch my wiener.
You have to touch my dick. You have to do other things, or I will make you so uncomfortable you'll leave the business. Like, I will put you in photo shoots that'll make you very uncomfortable, and I'll tell them that you are a pain and I don't like working with you, so your agent will drop you. People should be able to just go to their jobs, do their jobs, and unless you're making a porno, like, not have to deal with anybody's dicks. It's just that simple. It's just not something
that feels like a good rule. Like, we're not making a porno here, so your junk should not be an issue.
It should not have any part of the discussion. And I'm always impressed because, there is a stigma with men with sexual assault that's finally starting to come around. Like, people are talking more openly about it because assault is just assault. And it's not, it's not just for ladies anymore. I mean,
and no means no, even when it's coming from a dude to another dude. It's no.
And so I read this interview. He's on the cover, and he's of course gorgeous. He's Hollywood handsome. And then
I'm gonna look him up right now.
Yes, and it's the Hollywood Reporter. He's on the cover, and his name is Alan Ritchson. He also, in this interview, he basically talks about the fact that he's been married for 17 years to his lovely wife. They met in college.
He is handsome.
Right? They have 2 or 3 young boys. And he is a Christian. He was raised Catholic, but he's Christian now. And because of that, he believes in treating people decently.
What?
He believes that police brutality is wrong.
What?
He thinks sexual assault is wrong.
You're blowing my mind.
He does not understand why people are praising Trump for being a Christian leader when he is obviously a con artist
And been convicted of rape.
and been convicted of sexual assault and all sorts of things. He also talked very openly about the fact that he was diagnosed later in his life for being ADHD, but also being bipolar, and has a very difficult time, managing his mental health. And it talks very openly about he's trying to do the best he can for his wife, for his kids, and also just for himself. So he's Christian. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke.
Somebody's gone to therapy, and that's hot.
This is what I love about this. He's a devout Christian, but eviscerates the religion's hypocrisy. He also swears liberally and admits to past drug use. He's human,
What? That's impossible.
When you have mood issues and mental health issues, you will go to drugs to try to moderate yourself. I mean,
Yes,
there's no
you're
shame.
self-medicating.
You're self-medicating, and there's no shame in that. Like, people really shame people for having problems, or like, oh, they're just trying to drink away their problems or eat away their problems. Like, yeah, no shit. Who wants problems? I mean, it's human to reach for things. Reach again.
Yeah,
But
to try to help yourself.
to try to help yourself. But but I'm not advocating that you do that, but I'm just saying but people get really, really judgy. Or very, very smug about it. Oh, well, they do that because they're sad, or they do that because, and it's fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck off. But he's in a million movies coming up, and he just seems like a really, and this is something we talked about off the air.
Yeah.
Sometimes our creeps, or non-creeps, excuse me, sometimes they take a wild turn on us, and we don't see it, especially.
We call it our creep curse.
Our creep curse. We don't wish this on him. I don't think we're going to have that.
I really hope not. Fingers
No.
crossed, y'all.
Yes, but he's just a decent human being. He also he auditioned for American Idol, so he sings.
Oh.
In 2004, he's just done a lot of different things. He's having his best life. He admits he's working too much, but he also is like trying to preserve, like I said, his mental health. He loves his wife. He loves his family.
Aww.
And he just doesn't, he doesn't, lecture people.
Yeah.
He's all about
Not
being
shitty on the set.
He's not shitty on the set. He's just not shitty to people in general. Like, he's working on himself. Imagine that. Working on yourself to be the best person you can be, while also just going about your day and living your life, going for your dreams. Like, that's just what we all want. And
and now this show has moved to the top of my queue.
He also got in trouble because in 2020, he had an Instagram photo. It showed him, he was walking a dog. I'm reading this from the Hollywood Reporter. He had a T-shirt that read, "Arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor." And people fucking lost their minds.
How dare you, sir?
And he said, cops get away with murder all the time, and the fact that we can't really hold them accountable for their improprieties is disturbing to me. Thank you. Thank you.
That's it. That's
it.
all you need. Like, why it has to be like an all or fucking nothing thing?
Right. I know there's good cops. I know there's people that try to do the best they can. I know that there's a blue shield and it's really hard to get around that. I know it's a tough job. So it's being a fireman. So it's being a teacher. So it's being a lot of different things. And, but it doesn't give you the right to kill people. And that poor woman busted into her home. It's just in the middle of the night, like a decent human being. Like, there's nothing you can find out about her that is not anything less than that. And then just, he was wearing that. And, he's a tall white guy on a TV show, an action show. That means something when he is being vocal about that.
Yes. Like, it's okay to hold wrongdoers accountable. That's okay.
And
it doesn't mean it's not like it's not the equivalent of wearing a shirt that says "fuck the police," which is 100% I bet how people took that.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, there's a radio show we listen to where every once in a while somebody will say something about cops, and then somebody will text the show and like, "You're not talking about cops, are you?" Like they're just waiting for that red meat to be thrown so that they can act enraged and disgusted and say, "You don't care about." No, I care about a woman who worked as was she a medic or an ambulance driver, and she was just sleeping in her home and then was murdered? Like, I got a problem with that. He also, here's another thing. Christians today have become the most vitriolic tribe. It's so anti-ethical to what Jesus was calling us to be and to do. It also upsets him that Christians have so closely aligned with former President Donald Trump. Trump is a racist and a con man, and yet the entire Christian church seems to treat him like he's their poster child, and it's unreal. Yeah. I don't understand it.
Yes, exactly that. I don't get it. I can't think of anyone less holy than Donald Trump.
And then he says his mother was strictly Catholic, a staunch character. She was staunch Catholic. And he talks about the fact that the church had all these atrocities and they kept covering them up. And they're not, and that the fact that they are not held accountable is repulsive. What?
Yes.
We've talked about that too when we talked about the indigenous schools.
Yes.
I mean, so I was just like, oh my God, this guy's amazing.
What a great non-creep.
He's really, like, for us, the perfect non-creep. So if you're listening to us, sir, please don't fuck it up. You know, as RuPaul says.
Yes. And don't fuck
it up.
Yeah. And this is a great example of, like, we get a lot of, you hate all conservatives, you hate all conservative men in particular. And I'm like, that is not true. Like, this is a great example. Gary Sinise is a great example.
He's been our non-creep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Adam Sandler. As far as I'm concerned, we just don't vote the same way. It's, so we balance each other out. You never hear him saying, at least not actively saying homophobic things or inciting people or rage baiting people. He wouldn't do it.
Exactly. That's all. So this is a excellent non-creep. I love this.
Yeah. And so, like, as soon as I started reading this, I texted you. I'm like, I need a few more minutes because I really got to download this guy. He's amazing.
I'm going to download him. All right.
Oh, man. All right. That's the show this week. And if you like the sound of our voices, and by golly, why wouldn't you? They're delightful.
I know, right?
We also co-host a show called Dorking Out, where we dork out about movies. So this past week, we talked about Diggstown with James Woods, by the way.
Yeah, with James Woods. If you can get past the James Woods of it all, you will enjoy that episode and enjoy that movie, I think.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
And what are we talking about this week, Sonia?
We are going to talk about Heathers, which I can't believe we haven't already done.
It seems like our perfect jam.
Yeah, it's celebrating its 35th anniversary this month. I feel
old.
So old right now. But I have a feeling this one has aged well.
I'm crossing my fingers and my toes and my eyes. Like, I hope so. But
yeah, I've got some. I really, really hope so. But I loved this movie when it came out. I saw it a million times. And if you love movies like Mean Girls and you haven't seen Heathers, you should definitely watch Heathers because there's a direct line between Heathers and Mean Girls. So I'm looking forward to this rewatch because I haven't watched it in a long time. And
same.
Will I be able to watch it without my nostalgia glasses will be the
I'm worried about Martha
here.
Dump Truck. I am worried about, like, that whole thing. But look, we'll save it for that conversation.
Yes, we will.
Reach out to us at all those places I mentioned at the top of the show for your ideas for creeps and for non-creeps. We love it when you use the Annie Potts gift. We got one from Ghostbusters, or just do something clever on your own. Our email, once again, is whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com. If you like some stickers, just send us your address. Sonia, where can they find you?
You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky and TikTok and just don't go to the What a Creep group if you want to interact with me on Facebook.
Right.
Where can people find you, Margot?
I'm at Brooklyn Margot for TikTok and for Twitter. My site is Brooklyn Fit Chick, and that's what I am for Instagram and Threads. I think that's everything, everybody.
Yeah, I think
All right.
that's it.
It's the weekend now, everybody. Be safe, be good. Don't be a creep.
The creep. Thank you for listening to us talk about creeps. You can follow us at What a Creep Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
But don't follow us too closely.
You can email us your creepy stories at whatacreeppodcast@gmail.com.
But please keep your dick pics to yourself.